13 News, you're up with Sunrise. Well, good morning, everyone. It is 9 o'clock on your Saturday morning. Thanks for joining us here on 13 Sunrise and starting your weekend with us. I'm Matthew Foltz alongside Lindsay Moreau. If you've had a busy week, get ready to just relax and enjoy because you'll have plenty of good weather to get out and do what you want to do.
We're going to continue with this stretch of at or above average high temperatures. That's what we've had so far this month of October. And I'm feeling weird putting up fall decor when I'm sweating outside.
Exactly. We can't bring out the flannels yet, Lindsay.
That's right. Yeah, it has just been too warm. We've had some cooler overnights, that's for sure. And it is pretty cool out there in the 50s right now. But we've got some pretty big changes headed our way as this cold front works its way in our direction. Now, we're going to be on the warm side of this still today, which is why we're forecasting highs to still be in the low 80s. But this will briefly increase cloud cover as it approaches and also increase the wind speed. So we are talking potentially 25 to 30 mile per hour wind gusts as this front slowly starts to move in. Now, where we've had some increased clouds overnight, the temperature has been a little bit warmer. 58 right now in Kokomo, it's 55 in Tipton, and Frankfort is at 54. We're at 57 here in the Indy Metro and 53 down in Greenwood. Newcastle right now is at 54. And in southern Indiana, where the sky has been clear during the overnight, we actually had some numbers briefly fall into the upper 40s. Right now we're at 52 in Nashville and it's 56 in Bloomington. These numbers all running warmer than where we were this time yesterday, up by 12 degrees over in Greencastle, 6 degrees warmer here in the Indy Metro. And that's because we're tapping into that southerly wind flow for today. So we had a high of 80 yesterday. We're going to be back in the low 80s when we should be closer to about 67 for the average high at this point in the season. Sky stays clear tonight. It will be a mild one as we fall back to the 70s. Here are your forecast highs today. Take a good look at them because after today, the 80s will be long gone. We're talking highs in the 70s tomorrow, and then we're going to be in the 50s starting on Monday and into next week. We'll talk more about those cooler changes and some overnight lows that will be near frost territory. That's coming up in your full forecast.
All right, we'll see you then, Lindsay. We're following some breaking news into our newsroom within the last 30 minutes. Fire crews on the scene of a church fire off of King Avenue and West Michigan Street. Our Anna Chalker has been at the scene working to learn more information. And Anna, what's the latest that you've learned?
Well, Matthew, I can tell you this is nearly contained this morning. I'm going to step out of the way just so you can see that. When we were here earlier this morning, we saw at least 5 trucks trying to fight this fire throughout the morning. But right now, we've only have about 1. You can see the hose up there trying to get to the rest of this smoke and fire. A good area of this section is cleared out this morning. We've been seeing a few neighbors walking around, hopefully getting to talk to them this morning to kind of see if they heard or saw anything about what caused this fire. We still don't know exactly what started this. We're hoping to get that information here shortly. But again, this area on King Avenue is still closed off as firefighters are still trying to get the little bit of this fire cleaned up. As we get more information throughout the morning, we'll be sure to update you. But again, this is a very big section. So if you're going to be going on to King Avenue on the west side, just be aware of the traffic over here. But throughout the morning, right now, we do know that this fire is nearly contained, and as we get more information, we'll update you throughout the morning. Live in Indianapolis, Anna Chalker, 13 News.
All right, thanks, Anna. Well, police are also investigating 3 shootings that all unfolded overnight across the city. So we want to walk you through what we know right now. Metro Police say the first shooting happened early Saturday this morning on Scarlet Drive near West 34th and Moeller Road. Police responded to a shooting, but when they got to the scene, the victim was pronounced dead. The second shooting happened a short time later right near IU Indy's main campus. Police say they rushed over to Indiana Avenue near 10th University on reports of 2 people shot. Medics then rushed both victims to the hospital, but one of them died shortly after. Metro Police tells 13 News the shooting happened between 2 vehicles. 9:05, a startling discovery at an impound lot on the south side of Indy. Workers found a body dead inside one of the cars. IMPD says it was first reported as a person shot, but eventually changed to a death investigation. Our Chase Howell spoke to police outside of JR's Towing near Raymond in South Meridian.
Police say the car was filled with clothing. They say when a worker was walking past it, they saw a human head sticking out from underneath all those clothes. Now, I'm going to give you a better view here and have my photographer zoom in, but the car that I'm referring to is actually behind that garage. Now, police say the car was towed here from a McDonald's over on Madison Avenue after sitting there for about a day. And as I mentioned, IMPD says the car was packed with clothing, and it wasn't until a worker noticed a head sticking out of the clothing that police were called. Once they were able to get the door open, investigators then were able to determine it was in fact a body.
I've seen cars like this before. It's usually with people that have been living in their cars. Like I said, you can't see the side or the front, just a little bit of a top. It looks like maybe toward the back of the head, but everything else is completely covered up with clothing. The entire seat is piled with clothes.
To recap what we know at this hour, the man's body was found here after it was towed from a McDonald's on South Madison Avenue. When more information comes in, we'll update you here and online at WTHR.com. Reporting here in Indianapolis, Chase Howell, 13 News.
9:06. Right now, we're reaching out to police to learn more on what led up to a deadly motorcycle crash near the North Split. We first told you about this as breaking news at 11 last night. It happened on I-70 East. The crash caused a major backup with eastbound lanes closed. This is NDOT camera footage of that traffic accident last night. At some point, we know that one of the lanes has been reopened. We have reached out to police this morning to get more details on how this crash happened and if any other drivers were involved. Of course, we'll update you as soon as we learn more. This morning, a Metro police officer already facing charges for child exploitation and child porn here in Marion County is now in the crosshairs of the DOJ. A federal grand jury is indicting Javed Richards on several child porn charges. He faces 5 counts of distributing child sex material and 1 count of possessing a child sex abuse material. He's currently scheduled to go on trial for the case in Marion County happening later this month. We're now 48 hours away from the long-awaited Delphi murders trial as it begins on Monday. Richard Allen, who's accused of killing Abby Williams and Libby German, will finally get his day in court. We've been covering this case since the very beginning when the girls were found murdered in 2017. So to get caught up to speed in the major moments that have happened since then, we have our special Delphi special that will be airing later today at 10 a.m. on WTHR+. You can download that for free on Amazon, Fire Stick, and Roku. Again, that special will be airing this morning on WTHR+ right after 13 sunrise. This morning, Metro Police are looking for 2 drivers involved in a separate hit and runs just hours within each other. The first crash happened Thursday night near 10th and Cumberland Road. That's where police say a driver hit a teen riding his bike. At last check, that teen is still in critical condition. The other happened yesterday morning on Keystone and 25th Street. That's where police say a driver hit and killed a man before driving away. Our Marion County reporter Lauren Kostick spoke to the teen's family and shares their message this morning for the driver responsible for the crash.
Family tells me 14-year-old Wilberto Rivera is still here at Raleigh Hospital fighting for his life, and the driver who hit him still hasn't been caught. This was the scene late Thursday night. Cumberland Road lit up by police lights. Investigators say a group of teens were walking down the road and another riding a bike.
And a vehicle was southbound and struck the juvenile male on the bicycle, throwing him approximately 50 feet.
That juvenile, Wilberto Rivera.
We need somebody to tell us anything. I don't care how small it is. We need someone to tell us something. He's a kid. He didn't deserve that.
His aunt saying her nephew was on fall break, heading home at the time. She says the worst part is the driver didn't bother to stop.
Stop. Just stop. Give somebody some help. It may be a different outcome if you stop.
You gotta stop. I mean, and you've gotta pay attention. Right?
Kathy Mickle lives right where Wilberto was hit and is now worried for her 2 sons, saying speeding is a constant problem.
To be a parent to think, oh, my kid's on fall break and they're hanging out with friends, and all of a sudden, the next thing you know, you're going to the hospital and having to, yeah, it's horrible.
Now begging drivers to slow down and, more importantly, to stay at the scene. A plea Wilberto's family shares, desperate to find the person responsible.
Turn yourself in. You know you hit a kid. Turn yourself in. What if it was your kid? What if it was your kid? Turn yourself in. Say something, please.
Again, police are asking anyone with information to reach out to detectives or Crime Stoppers at 262-TIPS. In Indianapolis, Lauren Kostick, 13 News.
Police say video would be helpful in this case. They are asking neighbors to check their cameras. They're also asking you to look at your footage from around 10 o'clock Thursday night.